Welcome back to Karting Prodigy. Today is our long awaited real life karting session. This was on my way to the track, so it was very rainy. We had wet tracks and cold carts. Since we were the first ones there, let's see how that affects our lap timings. Safety first. Our target today is to beat our times from last time. Let's get right into it. Into the launch, going into the first lap, and the kart felt very sluggish. I'm gonna 4x this lap because I was just getting a feel for the track and really trying to warm up my kart and the tires. The kart felt very slow here, and I wasn't really familiar with the corners, so I was taking them very wide or very narrow. Not a great racing line at all. At the end of the first lap, we gained 4 seconds over the first lap last time when we had warm karts. Into the second lap at 1.5x speed. In this lap, I was braking way too much, losing too much speed on the corners because I still wasn't used to them. You can see I'm braking quite a lot before every single corner. And also, the kart still was feeling extremely sluggish on the straights, and there wasn't really a lot of acceleration. So, overall, I felt quite slow. But I feel like I did do better than what my second lap was last time, and we'll see that in the result and comparison coming up after this lap as well. Once again, excessive braking, and here we are at the end of the second lap, and we did do 2 seconds better than our second lap last time, but overall still not as fast as I'd like. Moving into the third lap, now I was starting to get a little more familiar with the corners, but I was still braking a bit too much before the corners. There were some corners that were able to be taken flat out, as I realized later after this lap. But overall, this lap was better than the previous one. I braked a lot less, but I still braked excessively. And once again, the car still wasn't feeling the best in terms of acceleration. Moving into the next corner here, we once again braked a little early and missed the racing line that we should have taken at the end of lap 3. And I gained a second over my previous lap as well as a second over when I did this lap last time. Moving into lap 4, this one I started feeling a little bit better, and this is the first lap that I took a flat out corner. Second corner wasn't flat out, and I realized that a bit late and lost some time there when I had to brake at the end of the corner. Third lap once again wasn't a flat out one, but I tried to take it so and lost some time there, had to skid a little bit. Overall, the car still was feeling a little bit slow, but I was taking the corners much better than last lap. Moving into the final corner here, once again took that flat out. And at the end of this lap, we gained 2 seconds over our previous lap as well as over the last time that we went through this lap. Now let's move into the fifth lap. In this lap, I once again tried to take more corners flat out. And in this lap, I also started experimenting with using my weight, leaning into the corners in order to brake lesser before the corners. That did distract me a little bit, so I went in with late braking into some of the corners. But I still think I did this lap faster than my previous lap, and we'll see that at the end of this lap in the time comparison. But once again, I feel like I did gain some time by leaning into the corners, but that distracted me a little bit, and I braked later and didn't quite hit the racing line that I wanted. So at the end of the fifth lap, and we can see we gained a few milliseconds over our last lap, and the last time we did this lap was our best lap of that day. Now into the sixth lap, and I feel like this lap I did do quite well. Once again, I tried to focus on leaning into the corners, and I was getting a little more used to it now, so that didn't distract me as much from the right braking times, hitting the right apexes, and following the right racing line. You can see the camera also lean quite a bit when I lean with the car. And at this point, it also started drizzling. It's not as clear in the footage. So once again, I lost some grip to the rain. By this lap, the kart was starting to feel a little bit punchier, but still not as fast as I wanted it to be. End of this lap, we gained half a second over our previous lap, as well as 2 seconds over the last time we did this lap. Now heading into the last lap of the day. By this lap, as I mentioned earlier, the kart was feeling a little bit faster than when I first started, but there was still something lacking compared to the last time when we had warm kart and warm tires, maybe because of the wet conditions of the road. But in this lap, I did take the corners much better than all my previous laps. I was able to lean into them, brake at the right time for the most part, and hit a lot of the right apexes, follow a decent racing line. So overall, this was our best lap in terms of how it felt, as well as obviously in terms of timing as well. Approaching the end of the last lap, we can see our time right here, 103.722, which was our best lap of the day. After this, I went into the pit box as the session ended, got out of the kart, and here's my result from the entire day. Overall, we did not meet our target of beating our personal best, maybe because of the wet karts, but I feel like I need to work on my throttle control and smooth steering. I'm hoping the racing wheel I'm about to get will help me improve that. I know I tease this every time, but next video will be unboxing and first impressions of the racing wheel that I got. See you next time.